Hey y'all, welcome to Parker's Reef. This weekend we're going to hit the road checking out a couple of local fish stores, starting off with Lifestyle Aquariums in Bundoora. All right, thank you for joining me on another episode of Parker's Reef. Now, as touched on in the intro, this weekend we're getting out and about. I'm going to tour a couple of local fish stores in Melbourne. Today we're going to start off with Lifestyle Aquariums and Reptiles in Bundoora. Now, that store is owned by Al, who's one of the nicest guys in the industry. He is currently overseas on a holiday at the moment, but that didn't stop me going along and taking the camera so you guys can get a good look at his store. He has some absolutely beautiful display tanks, and yes, numerous display tanks in a local fish store, which is a huge testament to both him and his team on how hard they work, plus a massive range of fish, corals, dry goods, and even tanks on the floor. So there's probably no point better than the current to roll the footage and show you Lifestyle Aquariums in Bundoora. All right, here we are, Lifestyle Aquarium and Reptiles out in Bundoora. And I must say, for my personal benefit, it is a lot more aquarium than reptiles because I don't know, despite living in Australia, there's snakes and things. They just don't sit all that well with me. Despite saying reptiles, fish, goldfish, tropical fish, cichlids, you'll find there's a pretty heavy marine influence in this store, and that's greeted with you. As soon as you walk in the door, you see this incredible Red Sea tank. Now, this is the tank that Al's had running for many years, and I have to admit, I personally love the kind of old school approach to it. The only thing really missing from the old school aspect of it would be some T5s over the top, which L has updated to some LEDs, but some of the pieces in here, like that big slipper coral down there, some fungias, even the humble old pally in there. We've got a massive leather, we've got some chalice. Sure, there are some absolute export grade deshi in there, and have a look at the color on that guy there. That is as gold as any deshi I've ever seen. Beautiful, beautiful piece, and yeah, there's some crazy nice torches and pieces in there, but it is the old school aspect of it that I really like, with the pallies, the leathers, the xenia, the sort of rock wall approach, even the most sort of humble fish in there. This is your go-to fish from a few years ago. Pair of clowns, a blue tang, a yellow tang, just makes sense, and you can see why. It looks incredible. I really do like that hammer in there. It's difficult to show the colors of it, but it's got a real cool sort of goldy appearance to it. I love the clam nestled up there in the rocks. That's really cool. And then just some random tufts of xenia that are just showing up anywhere and everywhere. And above the tank, we do have some, these look like radians lighting this tank up. So El's got 4 radians over there in a DIY sort of connected style light frame, which works well. And then over on the counter here, we've got this Fluval Flex, which this one's running a, looks like a Red Sea light to me. And this tank, this is absolutely gorgeous. I mean, Fluval Flex aren't really the tank I think of when I think of building a nano, but have a look at the pieces and clowns in here. That bubble coral there. Oh man, I love the color and extension, and even the stinger cells on it just looks nuts. Have a look at these storm clowns, just incredible markings on there. Al has picked the absolute cream of the crop to go in this tank, but we must keep moving. There are more display tanks to show. And then of course, a whole range of livestock and dry goods. Come across here to the NEM display tank. Now this is another beautiful tank. I think this is another Red Sea tank here. Got some, again, your fairly common fish in there, clowns, yellow tang, some wrasse, but have a look at the gigantic leather and then your assortment of anemones in here. We've got your forest fire nems in there, which doing as they do and tend to take over the tank. You got a big, I'm pretty sure that's a mag up on the back wall there, which the clowns seem to be enjoying. And then there's just a sea of Recordia everywhere, which is pretty cool. This one is lit up by a single AI-26. It's quite impressive how much light spread they're getting from a single light fixture there. Does a job very, very well, I must say. But we must move on over to the actual livestock for sale tanks, because you can see I'll just switch the filter here so you can get a better look. Prices here along the bottom, and then the SPS colonies up the top there. There's some really cool pieces in here. I quite like this piece here. I'm not sure if that's a Porides or a style of pokey or stylo, but cool growth pattern on it. It's kind of a mix between a pokey and a stylo there. Beautiful pair of mandarins in there just sitting on top of each other. You can see a nice assortment of SBS frags, some chalice along the base there, some maize corals, even got a big blue digi there. Some frags that have grown completely onto the frag rack there, the egg crate. Really nice assortment there. It looks like some strawberry shortcake frags, big sohole tang just swimming by with a huge presence to him. There's some more of those beautiful corals there in the end there, quite like the colour of those. Do also have yet another display tank here. This one is a absolutely gorgeous system. This is another Red Sea tank, and this one's probably El's high-end display tank. Beautiful pieces in here. I love the Flame Angel in there, some gorgeous candy canes, some Dallas, some red polyp Dallas. This one lit up by Ecotech Radians, 1XR30 and 215s. Have a look at the clam in there. We've got some beautiful pieces. I can see some Lighthouse Samacora up there, some cherry blossoms, I believe. Really, really nice pieces indeed. I quite like the red on that there. And then you've even got a branching Hydrophora up there. That's the, pretty sure that's a fire truck, or that was a cherry blossom, or vice versa. Two really nice red acros. But yeah, the branching Hydrophora in there. Pretty cool. Super aggressive coral, but very, very cool. Have a look at this strawberry shortcake here. Looks like he may be somewhat a relatively recent addition, but absolutely gorgeous. That clam is loving life there, even with the red Goniopora just brushing up against its mantle. Looks very, very nice indeed. And there's an assortment of frags in there. Have a look at that one there. I'm not sure what it is. It could be a Walt Disney perhaps. We'll have to fill us in there, but it's got gorgeous coloration on it. Some really nice pokies, some stags, the red caps in there. All coming together really well. I know this tank gets changed out a little bit every now and then, so considering tanks like this with high-end SBS do thrive on stability, so seeing how well it's doing with a bit of change looks very, very nice indeed. And I do love those candy canes. Beautiful, beautiful pieces. Good assortment of fish in there too, I must say. But let's get back across to the other side where we can see some even more corals for sale before we head into the LPS and fish room. But we've got some SBS colonies in here. The Sohol's waiting for me. He's making sure I don't put my hands in the tank. Big boss that he is. I see some big colonies here. These are not expensive at all, and looking very nice indeed. And there's a great assortment of various coloured Cyphastreas along the bottom here, quite like that one. That one's, well, both of those, very, very nice indeed. Really nice extended sort of correlates for a Cyphastrea, almost on the verge of a Turbinaria, but I'm pretty sure they're Cyphastreas. No shortage of acro and stag and things in there. Some really, really nice pieces. Good collection of chalice there. Some really nice colours. There's another, that one I think is a Turbinaria, the purple with yellow. I've got a big piece of that in my soft coral tank that I absolutely love. Hard to beat the contrast of purple and yellow. Some more chalice, some more acro colonies. You can see the size of these things. For my American friends that are used to buying sort of 1-inch frags, I'm sure when you see colonies the size of your fist for... we're talking $50, $60 Australian, which works out at the moment to be about $30 US for a big colony. Super cheap indeed, but a good assortment of corals there they've got in, and that is only the front room. We're going to head in onto the back room now, which is probably where most of the LPS is, but before we hit LPS, we'll come around the corner here. There is yet another display tank here, the little Red Sea Nano, but the lights are not on in there in the moment. You can see it's got some more NEMs and stuff in there. Let's check out the fish first. El's got a decent assortment of fish in here at the moment. I must confess I did go in on a Friday, which is just before they get their stock for the weekend, but still no shortage of fish. Check out these blue streaked damsels. They look as angry as ever, like all damsels are, but pretty cool looking fish. Blue-green chromis in there. Bristle-tooth tang. You've got a, looks like a orange shoulder perhaps, or maybe a mimic. No, he's a mimic, I think. Very, very nice. Coming over this way, we've got... can see a Desjardini in there, beautiful sailfin. We've got a blue tang, clean wrasse, fire gobies, a couple of blue tangs in fact, good assortment of fire gobies in there. Beautiful fish to give a bit of a contrasty colour. Some more cleaner wrasse there. I believe there is I can see his reflection, the Tamini tang in the back there, very, very shy of the camera, but still a gorgeous fish there. He goes darting around the back. Over into the next system here. Beautiful clown tang. This guy, he will grow to be big and angry, but he will keep those beautiful colours and markings for the whole time. So I guess you got to make a choice who's going to be the boss in your tank. See, nice gold rim, blue tang, another cleaner wrasse there. That system's looking fairly empty, ready for the new delivery. And then we've got, I think we've got, well, we've got a blue tang, and then we've got some 4 striped damsels. Okay. I'm not sure if they go under a few different names, but yeah, black and white stripes, you can't get much more contrasty than that. Pretty cool fish, but again, being damsels, they're probably going to be pretty angry. Got a Scopaz just darting into the rocks there. Got a mimic, we've got a clown tang, we've got a blue tang. Some pretty nice fish in that system, I've got to be honest. I love a scoper. It's such an underrated fish in my opinion. Really, really nice markings on them. Sure, they're brown, but still a nice fish nonetheless. Live rock, $18 a kilo or $320 for a box of 20 kilos. But let's scoot around the corner because, well, just before I do, let's just have a look up here because I have spotted a couple of the reptiles at the lifestyle reptile and aquarium store, and of course some freshwater fish too. This dude's been here a little while, I'm pretty sure. Big freshwater boss fish. I'm not going to try and tell you what he is because I'll only get it wrong. There is a heap more fish, but let's just check out these corals because there is some stunners in here at the moment. Let's see if the camera can pick up the colors of these orange recordias. Full on bright. Those things are melting the retinas there. There's a good assortment of deshies from your sort of more common ones up to some more rare ones like you saw in Al's display tank. Very, very nice indeed. You can see the pricing on screen there from $250, $350 up to $750. And then if you're chasing some anemones, have a look in here. They've got pink tip bubble tips. You've got forest fire bubble tips. And then this guy here, the red carpet that has sold. But let me just see if I can get a better angle to show you how nice he is. Have a look at the color on that. What an incredible carpet. Beautiful coloration in that. It has sold, and I'm sure whichever system that's going to is going to absolutely enjoy it. Decent investment, I must say, at $3,500, but what a gorgeous piece. In here, we've got, apart from a couple of very nice clowns, some really, really nice markings in there. This is probably more of an NPS tank, so you've got non-photosynthetic corals in there. You've got a few gorgonians, you've got some spider sponges, bits and pieces there. So people that have those NPS tanks are going to enjoy that system very, very much. But let's keep on rolling. There's plenty more to see. You can see some very high-end torches up the back there. Doing my best to get the colors for you guys, but you will probably need that in store if you really want to see what they look like. Great assortment of cyanarias there, from your sort of basics through to your higher ends. Got some acan colonies. Check out these scollies here. That green with the yellow splashes on it is something else. Absolutely love it. Some bubble corals. Good assortment of Duncans there with the bright green stems or the standard stems. Got a huge array of goni frags up there, from glitters to reds to greens. All sorts of options there. So if you're looking for some goni frags, you know where to head. Check out these gold torch here, the 24K torch, absolutely glistening away there. And then some variants so that you can get some contrast in your tank, from green tips, yellow tips, green stems, all the assortments there, so you can build out a pretty wicked little torch garden. Got a nice collection of Lobos there, and then some morphs. Check out, you got the red ones, but then you got this nice little Sunkissed, I'm pretty sure he is in there. Very, very nice indeed, not expensive at all. Coming across here, we've got, let's see, we've got some Goniopora there, we've got some pipe organ corals, looks like a big Will Sonai up the back there, and then you've got some Blastos from a couple of big colonies to some frags. Move on to some more gonies, from frags to colonies, good array of colonies up there, and more frags up on the rack. Trachyphilias, zoas, chalice, frog spawns, hammers, very well priced hammers there. See those ones, $80, $65 Australian. These ones are up to $200, oh sorry, $110 each, or 2 for $200. Some very nice pieces in there indeed. And then you come across to the next collection there, which we go up again, $150 each, or 2 for $280. That one front and center there is quite nice. Plus some of the golds in the background, very, very nice indeed. Very bright colors. And then you got some ones at the end there. Check out what's in the next tank though. If you like hammers, holy moly, have a look at this piece here. $500 listed as rare, but man, that's a bright, bright hammer. I just don't know how much of the color is coming through. I'll try and show you some other high-end greens. You see them over on the left there. They do not hold a torch to that hammer up there on the little stand. There's still some other very nice pieces in here though, quite like those golds with the green stems. You've got some very bright greens there. They don't look like it next to the other one, but they are very bright. And then you've got some leathers there as well. But I've got to take you back to that crazy hammer, because I've got to tell you, I was so close to purchasing this, but if you are a regular viewer of my channel, you may not have heard that I have actually lost my job. So maybe the $500 hammers will just have to sit on the shelf a little bit longer, but oh man, I could dip into my payout to grab that hammer, because he's a very pretty piece. But speaking of pretty things and maybe not so pretty things, there is a heap of freshwater fish here as well. I guess whether they're pretty or not depends on whether that floats your boat or not. I'm not going to take you through all of them, nor am I going to try and tell you what they are, because it'll just embarrass me, because I honestly have no idea. But there are a good few rows of some pretty nice looking freshwater fish here, I have to say, along with plenty of plants. So whether you like the salty side of life or whether you're a freshwater kind of person, you're going to have a good time at Lifestyle Aquarium here in Bundoora. But I want to focus more on the salty side of things. You can see some more fish there. Over the far end, and I'll give you a quick glimpse here, you can see some of the plants, and there's no shortage of them in store. Plenty to pick from there, as well as more fish as well. So like I said, whether you like freshwater, saltwater, or both, you're going to have a good time here. Let's pop on out, check out the dry goods, because there is quite a lot here. Al's got a pretty decent sized store. Whether you're looking at stuff for your reptiles, with your turtles or heat lamps or your goldfish there's plenty to pick from. You've got all different types of foods there from a number of different brands, from Aquaforest to Hikari to Tropical. Plenty more to pick from there, all sorts of different sizes, types, diets, you name it, they've got plenty there to pick from. And let's see what else we can find. Around the front here, we've got some more bulk foods there. There is also a brand new tank there getting set up. I didn't actually remember to take the time to take you through that. I got more distracted by all of the ornaments here, plus some Red Sea sand down in there, plus some Aqua One sand, and then there is some Aqua Forest sand as well. And I know how difficult, at least in Melbourne, Australia, how difficult it has been to get reef sand of late. So to see a number of brands there was encouraging. They do have a full assortment of the Aqua One hose there, which is super handy when you're plumbing up chillers and reactors and stuff like that. It's a great quality hose. You got all your internal sort of power filters, which mostly is used for freshwater stuff, but great for little quarantine tanks. Likewise, the air pumps and air stones there. You get some canister filters. You got some replacement parts here for some fluval tanks, as well as some Aqua One media. Got T5 and T8 tubes there. We got nets. We got Aqua One genuine spare parts there. So if you have an Aqua One tank or part that you need spare parts for, you can find them here. Good assortment of all of the Red Sea products. Plus you've got various filter pads there. You've got some salts from both Aquaforest and of course Red Sea. You've got some tank back paper or back wallpapers there. You've got Red Sea carbons. You've got Red Sea test kits, solutions, additives, the full Red Sea assortment, which I must admit I did pick up a couple of test kits for my Mastertronic and my Reef bot whilst there, because they do like a nice Red Sea test kit, and you can see the full assortment here, which is very, very handy for people like myself, plus the coral nutrition they make, which is always very popular. Got some frozen food, and then up behind the counter you've got a range of medications from Dr. Tim's, API, you've got Continuum. You've also got plenty of Kessels there. You've got Reef Factory, you've got reef mats for the Red Sea people. You see some pictures of Al there on his scuba diving adventures. You've got Ecotech Radians, Vortex. You've got all of the Red Sea doses and lights, Nios skimmers. Plenty to see indeed. And of course, still more to come. There is Aquaforest test kits, liquid foods, supplements, KH buffers, glues, carbons, Zeomix, everything one could want. But there is a little bit more I wanted to show you with Lifestyle just over here, because the team do a very good job of having plenty of tanks on hand. And I saw this one and I walked in, the brand new white Cade Pro Reef 2, which is pretty cool. I'm sure that'll be out of the box before you know it. And credit where credit is due. Check out this beautiful freshwater system here, Evolution Aqua Tank with some freshwater Kessels on it. Big sunken ship tank there. There's the Fluval Flex that we saw on the counter. Like I said, not a tank I would naturally think of, but turned out really quite nice. This is the big Waterbox LX there, top of the line tank from Waterbox, and I got to say, you can see why it's top of the line. Beautiful piece. Look at the lovely bracing on this, snug around the overflow there. Aluminium cabinet, really nice sump there, all the accessories. I believe this one has glass doors or aluminium doors, my apologies. Very, very nice. And then to compare against some of the other cream of the crop, you can see the cades there on hand. So you can see the cades, have a look and see which one's going to suit the height that you're after more. You can see the prices of them, and you can even compare a couple of the models, because there's another cade here if you were looking for something a little bit smaller. Then you've got the Aqua One tanks and a few more of the range there, but I'm sure you can all agree there is no shortage of both dry goods, live goods, corals, fish, everything one could want at the Lifestyle Aquariums in Bundoora. All right, guys, there you have it. That is my tour of Lifestyle Aquariums in Bundoora. If you are a local to Melbourne and you are heading in this weekend, be sure to let the team know that you saw it on Parker's Reef. And for everyone else, if you enjoyed the video, be sure to give it a thumbs up. And also, if you're yet to subscribe, please consider doing so in that bottom corner. It takes 2 seconds of your time. It costs absolutely no money whatsoever, but it would personally help me out quite a lot. Now, I should say, if you have any questions, comments, feedback, anything like that at all, pop it in the comment section down below, because I do personally reply to each and every comment there. So it is the best way to get hold of me. Other than that, guys, don't forget, tomorrow we have yet another local fish store tour to come. So make sure I see you tomorrow for that video. Other than that, guys, have a great day. Till next time, stay safe and keep reefing. Cheers, bye.